Welcome to Business News and Other Shit. I'm your host, Amer Abdullah, and we got a cool show for y'all today. My brother, my big bro, Motaz.
What's up, guys?
Motaz. Give me some right here.
A lot of love.
Thanks for being here, bro.
Thank you for having me.
What's up? How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good.
Long day for me, but it's been fun. I'm glad to be here, actually.
My bro owns 7 restaurants.
Yes.
We gonna get into talking about what if I want to open up a restaurant? Can I for real do it? Can I make money doing it? Don't 9 out of 10 fail? How did you get 7 to work? Did you fail 6 times? What's going on? So we're gonna get into all that good stuff with my brother. Our comic guest of the day is
I'm back.
Did you just throw up a gang sign?
No, I threw up
That's a
Texas Longhorns.
Oh, okay, because that looks like the Latin Kings.
Oh no, Latin Kings is I don't know how to.
Oh, he
do
did
it.
Hook 'em Longhorns. He's right.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
Hook 'em
Yeah,
Longhorns.
he did this. Hook 'em
Yeah.
All
Longhorns.
right.
That's a Rambler.
That's a Rambler.
Ramblers.
Yeah,
is
Loyola
Longhorns.
Rambler.
This is
That's GD right
That's
there.
gangster
No, this is
disciples.
yeah.
All right, we gotta stop this talk. Let's go.
Wait, why would we stop that talk?
Yeah.
What's up, Noshad? It's Noshod Brown.
Noshod Barrow. I don't know who the fuck Noshod Brown is, but I'm back.
It's the Noshad Brown Barrow.
Man, that
Back.
just,
Brown
I
Bear
don't know if
Barrow.
that shows I'm racist or what, but I've been seeing every time I look on your Facebook, I know it says Barrow, but I've been seeing Brown.
I don't
What's
know
up with
why.
me?
I don't know. Maybe just because I'm just so ethnically charged that you just be like, wow, this guy's really brown right now.
Wait. What does ethnically charged mean? You're an ethnically charged person?
It's when you see me, you be like, damn, I'm charged. And then you be like, I want to be blacker than I am. And then that's what I cause for most people.
Are you saying that you make black people feel blacker?
And I make brown people feel browner, and I make
people feel
Asians
white
feel tan. Yeah, that's what I think.
I like this.
What's up? Now we've decided that we think your name. This is
Right.
the second time on the show.
Yeah, I'm
Last
back.
time you told you're back. Last time you told us the name Noshad means happy. That's what your Uber drivers tell you.
Yeah, that's what they tell me.
And it's an Arabic name, but we couldn't figure out any Arabic name. But we're thinking your name might actually be Neshat in Arabic.
Oh, man. I can't wait to find out the truth. I'm going to go to
One
Mecca
day.
one day and hopefully be welcomed.
The Saudis would love to have you.
Yeah, okay.
They're gonna change your last name. Just saying.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
for
it's
sure.
Spanish. My
They might
last
also
name is
strip
Spanish.
search you.
Yeah.
That Barrow is Spanish?
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, dead ass. I got, man, if you heard my full name,
Oh, for real?
I think I said this last time, but it's Noshad Arroyo, which is Spanish for
Yeah.
like creek, and Overtus, which is, I don't know what the fuck that means.
Overtus is your second middle name?
Yeah, I got 2 middle names.
So wait, let's go. Noshad
Arroyo.
Arroyo.
Overtus,
Overtus,
Barrow. And Barrow
Barrow.
means dirt in
Dirt.
Spanish. Yeah. So
Creek dirt.
Happy
I'm-
Creek.
dirt. Yeah.
Dude,
it's
Creek
my,
Dirt.
it's
That's
my,
fucked
it's my
up.
Indian name. It's Happy Creek Dirt. Running Moon
Wait,
Water.
what was the third one? Overtus?
Overtus. Sounds like covered or like.
What does
hidden or something.
overtus mean?
Yeah, I don't know what that shit means. I really don't. It's my
There's covertus.
Why
and
do you
overtus.
have Spanish in your name?
because my dad's Panamanian.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you're
and
half Panamanian,
half.
African, I presume?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not gonna get that 23andMe. That's how you get clone, man.
Well, we
we
love a
definitely
bunch
don't-
of you running around.
We
Right.
definitely don't want a bunch of you, right? Exactly.
Okay, put it like this, right? Who's getting 23andMe done, right? Black people who don't know where they from, right? So when everything's said and done, they gonna make clone slaves of us, and we can't even do nothing about it.
Oh, snap.
Think about it.
You're making sure your great-great-grandkids
No, man.
aren't
Go do
clone slaves.
23andMe because I'm excited to find out where you're from in Africa. Do
I'll
that.
just ask my mom and my
She's
dad.
not gonna know, man. Do
and
that
my
23andMe.
dad. No, I don't want to though. Well, I would hate to find out that I'm like German or some shit.
Why? Great.
I don't know.
It would
I don't
explain
know.
too much.
Yeah, I'd be like, that's
Was ist das?
9. No.
The sound you just heard, Vatas Das, is our investment posse. Millennial gangsters Kareem and Yahya. What's up, experts?
What's up?
Should we do a little expert game? Let's do a little expert game. Come on, look each other in the eye. I have a question for y'all. What is the meaning of quantitative easing?
The meaning of quantitative easing is
Can I chime in?
easing quantitatively.
Hey!
I like that.
They worked it out.
Something about Ted and
Bill
a
Excellent
lot
Adventures.
of narcotics.
Ted and yeah, that is what it is.
Yeah.
Quantitative easing is basically
Basically
narcotics.
putting too much money in the market.
Narcotics for the economy. Yep.
Yeah.
Man.
All right. Let's get started here, y'all. Thank you all for being here. So we're going to talk about the markets right off the bat. We're going to hit the Federal Reserve and what's going on with that with Trump and Herman Caine and Stephen Moore. Then we're going to talk about Uber, Pinterest, and Lyft, all these IPOs. The Mexican border closing. Talk to my brother about how to be a businessman. And finally, banks.
Big banks.
Big
Swiss
banks.
banks.
Markets are up 8 straight days in a row.
What does that mean?
That rich people getting richer.
Man.
That's
And
exactly what it
What
means.
about if you just got money in it regardless, though? If
In
you're
the market?
not that rich, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, you
I
just
mean,
got rich?
yeah. I mean, whoever's got money in the markets, even if you got $1,000, you got more than $1,000 right now. You just made some money without working.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been 8 straight days. It's been very strong. However, what's funny right now is we're at a period of time where all companies start to report their quarterly earnings. You know, they got to publicly report how much money did they make in the first quarter, which is obviously January, February, and March. Right, here we are in the second week of April, or third week of April. And actually second week. And we're trying to figure out, hey, did JP Morgan make money? Did FedEx make money? Did Apple? How much money do they make? These guys make billions. So how much money do they make? You know what I'm saying?
Are they going to do that? Like, do some of these businesses go like, oh, let's not say exactly how much we made for, like, any specific reason?
That's a whole, like, there's a whole science around that. It's basically like fudging numbers with accounting.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I do believe it's impossible to get a company to be completely honest and transparent with their earnings numbers.
Why is that, though?
Because they know so deeply how their business works. Whereas if a person from the government who wanted to walk in and see if they're really reporting the right numbers, if they wanted to see is Apple really reporting the right numbers, they got to go through $100 billion of sales to figure out if every one of those $100 billion is legit.
Oh, so they just guesstimating at this point. I'm like, yeah, this is how much we made. I'm pretty sure this is the number. Like, there you go, guys.
Here's what happens, right? The way people uncover... You ever heard of Enron?
Yeah.
All right. The way that was uncovered, no government regulator found that shit out, right? It was a whistleblower inside of Enron in the accounting department being like, yo, the CFO keeps coming up to me and telling me to change these numbers. I've been doing it for 5 years. I can't sleep at night anymore because I know all these people. I'm lying to all these people.
Wow.
So it's usually a whistleblower internally that will announce,
Wow.
hey, our company is up to no good.
Or just some really anal retentant person who doesn't like Apple. Who's like,
Right.
oh, you got to check all of these? And he's like, yes, I am.
I'm going to show you all. Who just doesn't feel like doing his work that day.
They trying to distract him. Like, you sure you don't want anything to drink? He's like, no, I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm going to get you.
So that's what is coming up as earnings. Now, Apple has warned, saying, hey, we are not making as much money as we used to because the economy's slowing down. FedEx, same thing. They warned. Who else warned? There's a couple other companies that warned. So everyone has been starting to warn about not making as much money, you know? Instead of making $2 billion, oh snap, we only made $1 billion. What's funny, as we go into these earnings, the market's still going up, even though companies are making potentially less money than they used to.
So something ain't adding up.
Right.
Right.
So I'm assuming if they warn the fact that we might not make like as much money as we did before, there's less of a backlash than if it's like, yeah, everything's normal, and then it comes out and you're like, oh, you're missing like a few $1 billion.
Yeah, the market would be shocked, and their stock price would drop even more if they surprise people. That's why they warn. You know, they give warnings like, yo, if you thought we were making $100 billion, we're only making $90 billion. You know what I'm saying? So,
but they're still making money though, right?
Yeah, but everyone thought the way Wall Street works is expectations. Stock, when you're trying to figure out should I buy a stock or not, you're wondering like how much are they making, and so every quarter after quarter, Apple's selling more iPhones, if suddenly, and so you keep buying the stock, if suddenly one day you wake up and they have bought less phones or they make less money, you're like, what the? I'm going to sell this shit. So what they do is they anticipate, like, oh man, they start seeing their sales come in every day. And Tim Cook, their CEO, is like, oh snap, we making less. We're going to make $1 billion or $2 billion, you know. So the warning serves as a barometer for stock investors to figure out what they want to do.
Okay. Like, just letting you know.
Right.
We don't got it.
All right. So what's going on? Why does the market keep going up 8 straight days? It's been a crazy banner quarter. I mean, as companies were warning about losing, making less money, they were warning like a month or two ago. Stocks have been on a tear. They're up like 13, 14% in the last 3.5 months. It's crazy how stocks are doing so good. And so it's like, wait, if they've been warning, why are stocks doing so good? And with that, I want to say it's the Federal Reserve Bank. This is the most important institution probably in this country. They have so much power. They have so much influence. They're like our economy is like the Titanic, Mm-hmm. They're like the captain of the Titanic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're steering that ship, and we're all on that ship. Some of us are, dancing on the Titanic. Some of us are, what's that called?
Working in the coals.
We're working in the coals.
Right.
Some of us are rearranging chairs on the deck. You ever heard of that? So.
And there's a few of us who's playing in the band.
Right, right. And so, and there's one of us who's painting a naked woman inside of a room right now. Did anyone get that?
Yes, I did.
It's just not a good joke, Amer. That's what's going on right now. The captain is steering that ship. The goal is for them to make sure we don't hit an iceberg. Sometimes they mess that shit up and they hit an iceberg, like 2008 and 2000, the internet bubble, and 1990, the savings and loan crisis. So they just mess shit up sometimes, But what they did recently was they announced, we're going to keep interest rates lower than what we originally thought. All right, we're going to keep interest rates at their current rate. Everyone thought interest rates were going to keep going up. So the Fed has that much power. They basically control how much money moves into the economy. They control what interest rates are. They regulate the banking system, which is super important. So they are the captain of the ship. And when they announced that they're going to be having what's called an easy money policy a few months ago, the market just loved that shit.
I got a question. How bad does the federal bank have to mess up before, to crash the economy entirely? Where it's like, oh, we're not coming back from this.
Usually, it has something to do with debt because they're a bank, right? And the bank is all about lending money.
Right.
So in 2008, they really messed up.
Right, and that's like the housing crisis, right?
Yep, yep, where they were basically like, whoever wants money, take it. Whoever wants to buy a house, you're a house cleaner? That's what you do for a living? You need a McMansion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
A McMansion.
So, so the Federal Reserve, their goal is to basically get their arms around these banks and get their arms around the economy in a way that they make borrowing money easy and done in a safe way.
Right.
However, they often screw it up.
But have we ever got to a point where it's just like that's it? Like there's no coming back from that? Because we've
always come back.
Right.
So the answer is no. But Great Depression and Great Recession, taxpayers had to bail out the country. You know what I'm saying? Like we had to agree, whether we liked it or not, we had to agree to fork over our future money to rescue all those banks and basically the country.
And that's why millennials can't have shit. You see that?
For real.
Because our parents.
And that's why
and our grandparents over there smoking. I forgot what that shit's called. The shit,
hashish.
Yeah, hashish and the shit in the hellers and reading John Kerouac and shit like that. Y'all should have been saving your money. Right.
Yeah, so that's what happens with the Fed. So markets are up. The Fed has basically given the economy like drugs. When they basically make it super easy to borrow money, they basically are giving the economy drugs. So it feels like we're pumping up the economy probably more than it should be. I feel like we're moving into bubble territory where some shit might explode. There you go.
And it's gonna be Disney.
So that's what's going on with the markets in general, you know. Speaking of the Fed, we're going to talk a little bit about, let's talk about the Federal Reserve itself and banks. So the Federal Reserve, as we talked about, super important institution, right? They regulate banks. They determine interest rates. There's 7 people on the Federal Reserve Board who decide what to do with the economy. All right.
Wow. It's a lot of power, huh?
Right?
7 people.
These 7
Holy
people.
number.
Right?
Right.
These 7 people, they basically...
Are they all white? I'm assuming.
The answer, of course, is probably yes. I actually don't know who all the 7 are. I haven't. Actually, right now, there's 2 open spots.
Oh, shit.
Right.
I need a job
Interview,
application.
yeah, man.
What are your qualifications, Noshad?
I wake up early in the morning. I'm a great worker, friendly.
How are
He
your
represents
communication
the people.
skills?
There you go.
I can type 12 words a minute.
Could you tell us one of your weaknesses, please?
My weaknesses is that I care too much about people and I love giving money away. You guys are good at that, right?
So yeah, there's 2 openings. I know the president, the Federal Reserve Board chairman of the board is a guy named Jerome Powell. All right, and you do got to understand, like the wealthy class and the political class are often overlapping, so it's really important that the Federal Reserve, the president nominates the people on the board. So he's nominating people in a way that's going to make sure, the political class and the wealthy class continues to be wealthy. Bless.
Man.
Thank you. So I actually looked it up. There is 3 white guys and 2 white women, and they all look identical when you, when you cross your eyes a little bit, and 2 vacant seats.
Yeah. I mean, look, so Trump has nominated 2 people, and one of them is a black man. His name is Herman Caine.
Oh, man, he's probably like the worst black dude to ever exist. Probably found that nigga in the cave somewhere. It's like, yes, come out. He took off his hood and shit. It's like, I'm ready.
We've been raising.
We've been ready for it, like Darth Vader and shit. Yeah. He put on his black face.
Trump, I am your black father.
He's actually white under that black face is
I guess everyone in government just doing blackface.
Oh man, the state of Virginia knows how to do that.
Oh my God, that dude's the worst.
Both dudes, it's 2 dudes, right?
It's Mark Madow and
You remember their names? Damn.
I only remember his name. I don't remember other dude's name. Though.
Oh, one of them was the governor. His name was I forget his name.
I forget what his name is, but yeah, I mean they both suck.
What's funny is they're both still there.
Oh, of course. Everybody was like, "Hell yeah, that's my governor right there."
Oh, man.
And black people was like,
This is governor of where?
Virginia.
Yeah,
Yep.
he was found to have been wearing blackface in college or in medical school. Then they were saying the lieutenant governor would take over because he would step down for that. And the lieutenant governor, who's a black man, was accused of sexual harassment by a woman. So then they're like, all right, well, we got to go like the attorney general or something. He's like, wait. He just came right out. He's like, I wore blackface in college. And everyone was like, what the hell's wrong with you people? The top 3, And by the way, after like 2 weeks of like just trying to ignore that shit, it's blown over. And it's like they're still in power.
No, we don't forget. So you can look that shit up. That's so easy to look up. But it's just like, who can you pick, really?
All right. So the Federal Reserve. So Herman Caine ran for president.
Let this chair run Virginia real fast. This chair hasn't been in blackface, has it? And then it's a picture of a chair with like, you're like, oh, come
Black
on,
shoe
chair.
polish on it. Damn, chair.
Come on. You was better than them.
So Federal Reserve. So Herman Caine's a black man. He got rich from running a bunch of Burger Kings and then growing a company called Godfather's Pizza, which I don't think we have here in Chicago.
No, I've never heard that before.
I haven't either. So must be in some other states. So this dude, this is one shady dude, right? He ran for president in 2011, And he said some crazy. Like there was one moment where when he was running, he's like, "Look, I'm gonna be humble. If I don't know the answer to a question, I'm not gonna answer. If someone asks me who's the president of Uzbekistan, I'm gonna say I don't know." And it's like, yo, man, if you're president, you need to know. You know, like
Right, he got that nigga from Def Jam. He was like, "Have you ever seen Uzbekistan?" I don't know what. It's like, stop. Just don't say nothing. Don't say you don't know. Just don't say nothing.
And then he was asked a question once on camera, and they asked him. I forgot the question they asked him. What was it about? I forget now. But he basically said like, he basically just kept going.
Oh yeah.
Well, could you ask the question in a different way?
Oh my God.
And they asked him about the Libyan takeover from Gaddafi. That's what they asked him about. Like, what do you think about Libya over toppling their leader? And he's like, and he's something like, well, what do you think about Libya?
Oh my God.
One of those kinds of things. So this guy, and then by the end of it,
That is a Jedi thing to do. He's like, "What do you think?"
Redirecting it.
Dun, 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 dun.
we need you back in your cave.
Need to read a book.
So then
This is the man that's going to go and be a board member on the Federal Reserve.
he's been nominated by Donald Trump. Yeah. So we'll see it. Now the Congress does have to pass him.
Okay.
The Senate they
That's
do
what I
have
was
to
going
pass
to
him.
ask.
So then, what else? By the end of his presidential run, he had to drop out because a woman came forward saying, "Hey, you sexually harassed me or sexually molested, sexually assaulted me," and that was like, everyone was like, "Yo, you need to get out of this race." He finally stepped down, and who brought him back to life? Donnie T, our boy.
Man, did you guys hear about? It's like a conspiracy going on where they say Donald Trump is like a time traveler. Heard that at all?
No,
I have not.
heard.
Okay. All right. So Donald Trump is apparently a time traveler because his son, Barron Trump, right? There's a book about him way back when, an old Russian book. It's like 18 something, where it's called Barron Trump's like Awesome Adventures. And Barron Trump in the book is a time traveler. And Donald Trump's uncle worked for the Department of Alien Services or whatever.
Of course, yeah.
And
That exists, I'm sure.
it exists. And apparently, Donald Trump's uncle was one of the people who took a lot of Nikola Tesla's inventions. And Nikola Tesla is he's supposedly said to have created the first time machine.
Whoa. All right, wait. So wait, something about Donald Trump's uncle. That's all I got from that story.
Donald Trump's uncle took Nikola Tesla's time machine and traveled in time,
became Donald Trump. So really, Donald Trump is not Donald Trump. He's Donald Trump's uncle.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know how. Honestly, I didn't believe that shit. But I was like, oh, Donald Trump and.
I mean, we first gotta ask: do we believe in time travel? That's the first thing.
I believe it can exist. I don't know if it's real now. I don't know. I wouldn't know who was a time traveler or not.
I mean, if you're a time traveler, you're probably not telling people you're a time traveler.
Right. Or you probably are just telling people that shit. Just like, yeah, I'm from the future. Nobody will believe you. Like, watch your step. And then they trip. Told you.
All right. So Herman Caine. So he's been nominated. So I don't know if this guy's now. There's also been another guy named Stephen Moore who's also been nominated. Now, I mean, first of all, Herman Caine. Like, these guys on this board are like academic, economic experts, right? And so, I mean, Herman Caine. I'd rather have Herman Munster on the board than Herman Caine.
Oof.
It's a deep cut.
When the guy's answer to the question is, what do you think?
Right.
Our economy's in deep shit.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Trump is putting him on there obviously so that he can vote in a way to keep the stock market going up. Right. He's trying to stack the board with people who are going to be friendly to wealthy people. That's what he's trying to do. And what you want on the board is people who are academically sound people who are like, yo, we got to do the best thing for the economy, not for rich people.
Harvard and University of Chicago.
Ideally.
Economic
Ideally.
PhDs who know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
Do you think it's at all possible that Donald Trump is making all the companies fudge their numbers in a way to make them look good in a way so that he can look like that he's doing good for the market economy so that he can get reelected?
Well, I mean, I didn't fully understand the question, but he's definitely like, no, is he forcing Apple and FedEx to fudge their numbers in a positive way? No, I don't think he has that power. He does have the power, obviously, to nominate people to get into parts or positions of the government to push the market up, like Herman Caine. Or another guy he's nominated, Stephen Moore. Remember, there's 2 open spots, so he nominated 2 Republicans, Herman Caine and Stephen Moore. So, yeah, I mean, Trump doesn't probably look at approval ratings too much. In his mind, and I think a lot of presidents think this way, their approval ratings is what's the stock market doing? Is it going up or is it going down? Because their boys are going to like him.
Right.
If it's going up. Remember, all his boys and any president is going to be rich people.
Right.
So people who are heavily invested in the stock market and own companies.
Do you think he's going to get reelected? I don't.
Hell yeah. We
You
had
think
Joey.
so?
We had a friend. I had a friend on here a couple weeks ago named Joey. Catch story. He said not only is he going to get elected for the next 4 years, which will be 6 more years of Trump from now because he's got 2 more years left, but he thinks his daughter Ivanka is going to get elected after that, and so it'll be 10 more years of Trump.
Wow. But why would she get elected?
First female president. It's
Really? They
everyone,
pick her?
Everyone's talking about it.
I don't think so.
Man, I didn't even think he would get elected to begin with, and here he
Oh
is.
no!
Anything is possible.
I thought he was gonna get elected, but I don't think he'll get elected this year. I don't know. It's so much stuff happening. I think people will definitely vote more than they did before. You know, what really needs to happen is all these little liberal ass white kids need to go back to where they came from. No disrespect, and vote where you from, Iowa or Nebraska or whatever came from, so we could, flip that vote real quick. If you really want to help, don't be a little bitch about it. Give your parents a real you know what I mean, by going back home and being like,
Voting Democrat.
I'm gonna vote for Chang Wang, whoever the is running.
There is an Asian dude running for
I
president.
know. I don't know what his name is. It's like Chang Wang or some shit like that.
No, man, you're just being racist right now. Is it Chang Wang?
I might be being
Chang
racist.
Wang with my ding-a-lang.
But if his name is Chang Wang, then that just goes to show how progressive I am.
All right, so yeah, the big point I want to make is how people should invest in the stock market, partly because the way our government is designed in a way to get people on these boards to push the stock market higher. That's what the president wants to do. All right. Let me give you another example of how the president does that. You all heard about this? I'm going to close the Mexican border.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So he threatened that. Just said it out loud to get his base, to get his followers all fired up, you know? Because I don't believe we have a Mexican problem, right? I believe we have a whole different problem in the world. I believe that there's a real threat to, how the makeup of this country.
Right.
Where it'll start to look like minorities are making up a larger number than non-minorities or white people. And so, a lot of people are like, a lot of progressives are like, yeah, let's go. Let's build a badass country and we're all going to look different.
Wouldn't that make them the majority?
The minorities?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm using minority also as like non-white people. You know what I'm saying? What?
No,
You're laughing.
It's funny to watch you try and process this.
I mean, minorities will become the majorities. So, so I think, like, Trump, to help, like, white supremacy becoming obsolete. That's what's happening in the world, right? And there's a lot of fighting that by Trump especially and white nationalists.
Right.
Right? And so what they do is instead of, like, dealing with that fear or what that means, Trump just starts to create problems out of nowhere. Like, we got a Mexican problem. Build a wall. We got a Muslim problem. Muslim ban. We got a China problem. Trade war. They just like, simple problem, simple solution. Don't focus on what we're really pissed about, which is like the makeup of this country is changing.
That's actually pretty smart.
Oh, really?
Because it's like
By Trump.
he's presenting
he's
a
brilliant. He's brilliant.
presents a problem,
A
presents
simple
solution.
problem, and it presents a solution.
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
makes him look like he's doing something.
Trump 2020, baby. No, for a person who I believe is just lost on ethics and morals, I think he's brilliant. Otherwise, intellectually, like that's a simple problem, simple solution. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But is it Trump's brilliance or someone who's controlling him?
But it doesn't work though. Like the thing is, you could present. There's a problem. You could say there's a problem, and then you could present a solution. But is it working? Like, will people look at this his time as president and be like, well, that's really worked. Like, has it worked at all? Or
Well, how do you define work?
Exactly.
like okay, well, like
Whites maintain the majority.
right? But like where they're like, oh well, people are still like, well, people go, okay, who's been shooting everybody recently? And they're like, oh, let's see. Oh, well, is it all these Mexicans that we push back here? Oh, no, this is just white people that shoot people. All right, well, who's been taking all our jobs? Oh, machines have been taking all. Oh, it's not Mexican. Okay, well, what do we do now? Like, are people gonna look at that? I don't think people look at shit like that. You know what I mean? I just think people just hear that and be like, all right, cool, let's see if it works, and then complain, and then just don't.
It passes, right?
Yeah.
It passes, and the country, it unfolds the way it unfolds,
Right.
Which is probably going to be minorities take over the majority.
Right.
And that's going to happen regardless of whatever he does.
Minorities taking
Yeah,
over the majority.
Exactly.
I mean, he's trying to keep people out, obviously.
Well, is he?
Of course, the Muslim ban, he's trying to keep people
Yeah.
out. The Mexican border, he's trying to keep people out. So that'll prevent minorities from coming into the country more.
Which, I mean, that wall ain't gonna do shit, but I mean, it's
But
He
don't you
called
think
it a
it's the-
anti-climb wall.
yeah, no, yeah.
I don't know what
Well,
that
it's
means.
not an
but-
It says
anti-dig
don't
wall.
climb on it.
You could dig under it, is what he's saying.
Everything
He's
would
giving you the
butter it
clues.
up.
So,
You gonna slide through the gates.
so now here's the thing. So he talked about closing the Mexican border, and he didn't do it. Do y'all know why? Once people inside his own administration were like, "Yo, we have billions of dollars of goods that cross past this border
Yeah.
every
Oh,
day
yeah.
Yeah,
because we put those Mexicans to work.
right.
We cannot have all that stuff stopped.
Avocados, y'all.
Right.
Hello. That's what I was going to talk about.
For real. I mean, how are we gonna have our Mexican food without avocados?
Man, them
I
white
mean,
women gonna
the
be
price-
mad.
They need their
next day,
avocado toast.
He said, I'm closing the border one day, and not even 24 hours later, the cost of avocados went from 30 to 60.
Oh,
Double.
no shit, for real.
One day.
Damn, just saying
It's
that.
like just saying that.
People gonna be. You remember? Okay, so do you remember like the old Prohibition era when like liquor was illegal and stuff like that? That's when Al Capone was really making his money and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bootlegging.
yeah. That's how it's gonna be with avocados. It's just gonna be
Bootlegging avocado.
Black market avocado.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
like,
someone
yo,
with
I
a
got-
long leather trench coat.
It's like I got the best guacamole. Just come around back.
So Trump was like, what? This would hurt the stock market? Oh, hell no, we ain't closing no border. And he just stopped that talk right away. So what my point is Trump is, going to always create these problems. But the moment they start hurting the economy, like with the Chinese, once the trade war started really affecting the economy and the stock market went down in December,
He stopped that too.
he stopped. He's like, all right, wait, let's make an agreement.
Did you also hear that with the ban? What is it? Oh, my bad. With the ban, I forgot what it.
The band?
The ban. No, for some reason, Cuban players or like
Oh,
players,
yeah.
do you
Baseball
know what I'm
players.
talking-
Yeah,
they couldn't come over
Yeah,
without
visa.
defecting. Yeah,
Visa issues, right?
He stopped the visas for all.
Yeah.
right. You know how many people gonna be upset when they teams start losing? Oh my God! Football, basketball, baseball,
Baseball,
every
especially.
sport except golf, and nobody watches that shit. So.
I mean,
Nobody.
golf they don't have to worry about. It's mostly white people. I think.
Right. And then what if Tiger Woods just goes going to Asia? Like nobody's gonna watch that shit. Except for hockey. And honestly, Canada ain't really with us right now either. So he needs to cool out, man, because nobody's liking that.
Well, so that's why you got to invest, is because no matter whether it's Trump or Bush or Reagan, whoever you want it to be, Obama, Clinton, their big thing is making sure that stock market always going up. And that's why it makes sense to have a bucket of your money going into the stock market regularly, weekly, often. Don't hold back. Participate. Get involved. Speaking of Mexican border, let's talk to my big bro, Motaz.
What's up?
What's up, baby?
How you doing?
Good, man. So let's teach us about how to make money in the restaurant business. I mean, everyone has like this dream right? After they make their amazing cupcakes.
I got
or
a quick
amazing-
question.
or their
Who
amazing
used to
prime
who
rib.
used to start the most fights? Was it you or was it him?
Probably me.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
him. Do you mean with each other or outside
Yeah.
the house?
Yeah, but me and I have never really fought.
Oh,
As kids, I remember some fights.
fight.
I don't. You do?
As a kid, I remember once
Yeah, block
doing
that
like a.
shit.
I remember once doing like a. I got on the top, of the ropes. We were wrestling,
yeah.
and I.
Like
it was
kids do. Mhm.
Oh, you what?
Yeah, every kid wrestled. No, you didn't wrestle with
Of
your
course.
siblings,
I did.
right?
Yeah.
Did you say
Okay.
my kids?
No, I said like every kid.
Oh, yeah,
Every
yeah,
kid.
You got kids?
No,
Oh,
I got 2 kids.
Oh shit! I
They
know.
wrestle him.
Yeah, we wrestle all the time.
And
I
they
thought you
win.
said. I thought you said my kids, and I was like, oh, Noshad's got some kids.
No, Noshad don't got no kids.
That you
At
know
least
of.
that you know of, yeah.
Nope, don't got no. Don't put that on me. Knock on wood.
So yeah, I used to jump up on the dining room table when he wasn't when he's watching TV or something, and I would just dive and jump on him like that.
Frog splash.
Frog splash.
Oh,
Nice.
Eddie Guerrero.
Guerrero.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I used to frog splash my bro.
Do you guys still watch wrestling?
absolutely not.
Thank God. I was gonna roast you. No, nobody watches wrestling.
My daughter watches the female. What is it called?
Oh, for real? I
She
don't know.
loves watching that.
It's female wrestling. Glow on Netflix. Shout out to Glow. Give me an episode if I can help it.
All right, so talk to us. So when you started working at Accenture when you got out of college,
Yeah,
Right.
2000.
doing a tech job or a consulting job.
Consulting, yeah.
All right, and then you decided, yo, I'm gonna leave this gig.
No, while I was at Accenture, the economy was not doing too well, and I just wanted to have a backup plan.
Backup plan. All right, so we grew up in the restaurant business, and so you decided to open up a restaurant, not with my dad, but on your own.
Yes, that's correct.
By the
Yeah,
way, my
so-
dad did pass away recently. May he rest in
May he
peace.
rest in peace. So yeah, so I had an idea. I felt that the city of Chicago in the business district area did not have a good representation of Middle Eastern food.
All right, that was a long-winded way of saying you wanted to get a Middle Eastern restaurant in downtown Chicago.
Yeah, so
Cool.
which is what my dad did.
Right. My dad owns a restaurant called Cedars in Hyde Park,
Right.
and so then you have that was opening up the first Mezza.
Correct. In a mall.
In a mall.
That's why I brought it because we wanted something where it was stable.
Yeah.
Easy for people to get. So built-in business, if you will.
A lot of people fantasize about opening up a restaurant.
It's not a fantasy, that's for sure.
What do you mean?
Shouldn't
I'm
be.
saying-
Shouldn't be a fantasy.
You don't think it should be?
No.
I mean, a lot of people have this dream of yo, I'll be the man if I open up a restaurant and I'm feeding people and I'm cooking and I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm talking to people. Is it first of all as glamorous as a lot of people make it out to be?
You don't know. I mean, so if you're looking at it from just a simple aspect of I can make a lot of money selling really good food, great, but that is not glamorous. I mean, there's, for me at least, it's a small ticket. You serve a lot of customers. You try to serve a lot of customers, and you have
When
to.
you say small ticket, it's you do fast casual.
Fast casual,
Almost
so
like Chipotle style.
everything's around $10, right? So
Yeah.
lunch is $10, and so it's not an easy sell like sometimes because you think that it's $10, it's good wholesome food, but it's never going to be perfect, and
Right.
well, people expect perfection no matter what, or at least close to it as possible. So, you've got probably 20% on an average customers who are just always going to complain no matter what. You're going to have 50% who are just like, it's food. I eat it. It's good. I'm not sick. I'm good, And you got the 30% who are happy-go-lucky, and they're just going to always be like, yeah, it's great. It's delicious, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
There you go. Right.
So-
So
so-
some are gonna
so-
love it, some are not.
Yeah, basically. And so you got to be able to deal with that emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, right. Because sometimes up, sometimes down. You
Yeah.
got to deal with Yelp reviews too.
Exactly.
All right. So why do you think people do you guys see it all as glamorous? You ever have a dream of having a restaurant? Or
I want a restaurant.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Why do you want a restaurant?
One restaurant idea, and I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Okay.
no, but I worked at McDonald's. It was my first job, and I was at the drive-through window. I hated the drive-through window because like that's where all the rudest people are because they can say some ignorant shit and just drive off.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Cupping and all that.
That's just like, you little piece of shit, and then you can't do nothing about it. So,
Hey, by the way, man, I'm sorry I did that. I didn't know that was you.
Oh, I got some good drive-through stories and I got some really bad drive-through stories. But if I'm gonna stay on subject, I was just playing in the drive-through, just like just doing voices and shit in the drive-through because I'd be bored at work and I'd be like, "Hey, everybody, it's Superhero Steve here," and then like people would come to the drive-through and be like, "What's that?" Saying all that stuff, and then I was like, "Oh man, this is really fun," and I just played with the idea of like having a restaurant, and then I was like I would only have one restaurant though. I'm not like a big.
Wait, is your idea to have a drive-through at the restaurant and do a bunch of make it funny as people come
make it
That'd
funny.
be cool.
Fun.
I like that idea, man.
Right, and then
That's great.
And I would bank it off the fact that I would be a celebrity, and then I might show up once every blue moon. So
right. I think when a person owns a restaurant, they start to feel themselves that they're kind of like a celebrity. I think that's what.
Oh,
am I mistaken?
You're mistaken.
I'm talking about being a stand-up and owning a restaurant. And if I am a successful stand-up, like say if I reach the level of Dave Chappelle,
yeah, you own
and
that.
Dave Chappelle owned the restaurant.
Kanye did that with Smashburger, I think, right?
Right. People just go there just because they be like, oh, he might show up, but it'll also be fun and funny, and then I'll have, people who work there who trying to be actors and actresses, and shit like that.
Of course,
and,
they're trying to get to you. No,
right.
but my point
and
is,
then I could just pop in and take a fry off somebody's plate, and it'd be funny. They'd be like, "Oh, it's the shot."
My point is though, I think people.
See y'all later.
I think people.
Dibs.
A person who wants to open a restaurant is like, "Yo, I'll make these badass whatever burgers, sandwiches. I'm gonna get famous. People can know me in the community or whatever."
Right.
I think that's part of the reason that the glamour is there. I don't know if that's true or not, but anyway, so yeah. So let's picture your mom is an amazing baker, right? Or someone's mom, or someone's dad makes amazing ribs or something, right? And they're like, yo, you need to open up a restaurant. This is the best cupcake or best cake or whatever. Would you advise people to do that? Would they like, let's say somebody has like some amazing recipe for something. They do such a great job with their cupcakes or whatever.
Yeah, so I
want to open a bakery.
Yeah, I'm all about differentiating, right? So I think that is the one factor I feel that can really propel a business.
Being different.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just very different, you're doing something so different than anybody else is. And I'm not talking about having great customer service. It's unbelievable customer service, and you still serve just a normal chicken sandwich. No, I'm talking about that item that you serve is sweet Jesus.
Right.
That's
which is a
Hallelujah.
ice cream company in Toronto that has a line out around the block.
Because it's just wow.
So different.
Yeah.
But hold on though. But there's Chick-fil-A too, and to me, them just regular ass chicken sandwiches. But people love them.
Because
I have no idea.
no, they're good chicken sandwiches. I know they're not healthy, but semi-healthy. I mean, compared to like a really thick, over-battered fried chicken sandwich, they give great freaking service with a smile.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of a marketing thing there with Chick-fil-A.
There's like we don't
It's
like
a
gay
great
people.
name.
Yeah.
What up? With us or
Great
not.
marketing,
Yeah,
right?
good-
Eat
good
chicken.
Say-
The big cow says, "Eat chicken."
What about what's that burger place that now is here? Not Smash Burger.
In-N-Out.
Wahlburger.
No, there's Wahlburger. I saw that, but no, the
Whataburger?
Shack.
Shake Shack.
Shake Shack.
Oh, Shakes.
I love going to
I
Shake
don't
Shack.
like Shake Shack neither.
I have yet to go there.
I mean,
and the
it's
burgers are small too.
small, but they're good. They're not the best,
But they're
like,
only $7. I know,
it's
like
more-
$10.
Honestly, it's more a feeling when I go there and get the burgers and the fries and stuff. I kind of feel like I don't know.
Part of something.
In New
Yeah.
York.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in New York. I'm part of something.
Well, that's-
There's a buzz.
So is that what you saying? Like, with owning a restaurant, you got to create. You just got to have people feel like they're a part of something.
Yeah, for sure. That's a huge part. But I still think that. How do I like? So small Au Cheval creates a burger that is just, rich and, cheesy and, just decadent.
Yeah, I've had that burger. It's amazing.
So it's a great freaking burger. And then they get really famous for it. And what happens? oh, let's open a bunch of small chevals, 3-4 of them that just serve a mini version or smaller version of the same burger for $4 or $5 less.
Right.
Boom, busy everywhere.
Part of something.
Exactly.
Community. Part of the buzz. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So let's say a person's like, all right, I'm gonna open up my bakery because I make the best amazing cupcakes or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. Are they gonna enjoy that job? What's gonna be? Are they gonna be baking amazing cupcakes all the time?
So this is where I say you have to love, no matter what it is, you have to love what you do. Number one, first and foremost, love what you do. If you love making the most amazing ribs, and they really are amazing, and everybody tells you they're unbelievable, get on it. Do it.
Like Smoke. You ever been to Smoke?
Yes.
Smoke Barbecue?
Yeah.
Yeah, that place. Have you ever been there? Man, amazing ribs.
They
and
do have
chicken.
amazing barbecue.
Yeah. And I feel like those guys did it right. But then there's like 50 or 100 others who probably fail. Like 9 out of 10 restaurants supposedly fail, right?
Yeah.
So do you think that's a legit statistic? 9 out of 10 truly fail?
I'm not sure if 9 out of 10 truly fail, but if they fail, a lot of times it's because they're underfunded. They don't have the proper, management experience. It's not just cooking great food, right? You've got to be able to understand the economics behind all this.
I think that's why a lot of restaurants open up is because people are standing around a kitchen or standing around a dining room table and they're all eating these amazing cupcakes or amazing ribs and they're looking at this person like, you really need to open up a rib joint. And the guy goes and opens it up and he don't know shit about management. He don't know anything about funding. He don't know anything about signing leases.
Customer
or
service.
Customer service.
Cleanliness.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot more to it, you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely
Do you still cook?
Well, I still create a lot of menu items. Like I go back and we recreate stuff, try to make things better.
Is that the majority of your time spent?
No, definitely not.
What's the majority of your time spent?
Definitely more on operations.
Like what, for example?
Yeah, for example, like today they actually wanted me to figure out a way to speed up our online orders that come in. And so...
Like on Uber Eats or stuff like that?
Yeah, well, sure, Uber Eats, but it was Ritual, for example. Ritual, yeah. And so we've been talking about this for a while. And so today I went to one of the restaurants and I said, okay, we decided yesterday we're going to move your tickets that come out from Ritual, instead of having them at the cashier area, and then we have to walk them all the way over to the beginning of the line where the food begins to become assembled, to move that entire ticket machine to the front of the line, and that person who's taking the orders go ahead and just click it, receipt comes out, and then put it down on the line and keep going.
So you spent time making that more efficient.
I do. I mean, it's not just me, but yes, if I come up with an idea or an employee comes up with an idea.
But that's not the majority of your time. So what's like do you spend more time? For
That's
example,
one thing in operations, right?
Right. That's a small thing.
Because with the business, it's always something that.
That's
changes.
right.
Yeah.
So equipment breaks down, air conditioning goes out. Well,
Right.
I'm always coordinating all that stuff between the repair guys and the restaurant manager, making sure all that stuff's connected.
What's been the worst thing that's ever happened?
Fire in the restaurant.
Oh, snap.
I burned down I didn't burn down, but a whole restaurant burned down.
Damn.
The whole restaurant burned down?
Yeah.
Was it like
snap.
attached to something?
Yeah, it's in a big Class B office building.
Oh my God.
Can you tell us where?
Yeah.
Where?
Mezza at 2 North Riverside Plaza.
What's that? That's the train station?
Yeah, the Ogilvy train station.
You burnt down Ogilvy train station?
Well, I burnt down Mezza. Thank God they didn't burn down Ogilvy train station. Yeah.
So wait, there's a Mezza inside Ogilvy, right? I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
there's Mezza. And the inside of the restaurant burned down.
That's
What
correct.
what stores are next to you?
Starbucks.
Did you burn down the Starbucks?
No.
Damn, I wish you would have burned down the Starbucks.
Yeah, so that was and so I get a phone call. I'm at
What's
so my
that
son,
call
my
like?
son,
Hey, your
so-
restaurant's burning down.
Hey, boss, we got a problem.
Restaurant's closed.
Can you grab an extinguisher on your way?
So here's
Damn.
a story. So this is a good,
Maybe
it's actually,
two.
It's actually a good story. It's actually a funny story, and it's funny now because nobody died, thank God.
as far
You
know.
as far as I know, yeah. I don't think anyone died. I would have known. I wouldn't sued. So closed. It's around 5, 6, 7 p.m. somewhere in that time range, and
Oh, you're closed. The restaurant's closed.
Restaurant's closed. Yeah.
Oh, my
So the restaurant closed. Yeah.
Thank goodness, right?
I know,
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
Damn.
So I'm at my kid's soccer practice. My kids play soccer, so I was at soccer practice. I'm watching whatever. I'm just chilling. I get this phone call. I'm like, oh, what number is this? I pick it up. Is this so and so? I'm like, yep. Like, your restaurant's on fire. We need you to get over here ASAP. I'm like, haha, real funny. I thought they're joking. I know they're all closed. Like, how could a restaurant be on fire? It's closed, right? Like, no, sir, we're serious. Mezza at 2 North Riverside Plaza is burning down as we speak. You need to get over here immediately. The fire department's on their way. I'm like, huh? I literally pull my child off the soccer field. I speed over to the restaurant, and it was burnt to a crisp. It was not a joke.
Damn. What was it, like a grease fire?
No. So it was electrical fire.
Oh,
That's how they have
that was
a
my
lot of
first guess too.
Yeah, electrical fires are the big ones.
Yeah, I mean, in my head, I was like, it was an electrical fire because that's how most fires happen.
Yeah, so one of the coolers. So it's very funny, by the way. Just pinched cord.
Pinched
Cord. Yeah, pinched.
Was it extension cord?
No, regular cord from the cooler.
Oh.
You know, they plugged into the wall and they push the cooler back. They pull every night. We pull the coolers out, sweep, mop behind them, push them back.
It got pushed back.
It got pushed back so hard. Yes.
Got pinched.
Got pinched and
between
smashed
the wall
between
and
the wall and the cooler. Yeah, and the cooler didn't have little bumpers to keep it off the wall by an inch. It's an older style cooler.
And
It
you
didn't
know
have
what's
those little
good?
bumpers.
Nobody snitched on each other either. It was like, I don't know who did it.
Did
you know who did it?
No, I wouldn't blame the employees because it's our fault, or the manufacturer's fault. Like, why is there no bumpers on the back of this cooler?
True.
Most coolers have little bumpers, and so you don't push them against the wall all the way. So it keeps the cord from pinching, keeps the compressor airflow moving and stuff. So anyway,
if it was my dad, may he rest in peace, he'd be like, "Who did this?
That's right.
You're fired. Get the out of here."
Yeah. So
you're literally fired.
So what's funny? Here's a funny story. So the guy who was walking by the restaurant was a janitor from the building.
Wait, there was a guy walking by the restaurant.
So this is who discovered it. He's walking by, pushing the big old dumpster with garbage in it.
Right.
And
he
he looks
okay,
to his
mop
left.
that up.
He sees flames coming out of the window. He looks at us like, oh shit, and then he just flies back to the security. He's like, hey, call the 911 or call whatever. There's a fire.
All right.
And the guy takes a picture, and I get the picture that day,
story.
and it's hilarious. All you do see is literally flames burning up in the restaurant.
Oh my god!
Like completely smoke, and all you see is flames. So
thank God
it was
I didn't
legit.
go too far.
Yeah. Oh, by
Dude,
the way,
if it burned down all of Ogilvy, you would have been all over the news, man.
for sure. By the way, so what saved us? So I have this thing I do at most of my restaurants, except for one, because they won't let us do it. But all my restaurants, I tell them keep the exhaust running, to keep pulling air out of the restaurants.
Like ventilation,
sucking air out of the restaurants because it just feels cleaner. The smell of all the food is continuing to get out. And I do it for safety reasons. Like if there were ever a fire, oxygen is not trapped inside the restaurant.
Oh, it's good.
continuing to suck oxygen, which keeps the flame low.
Oh, nice.
Thank God I did
move.
that. That restaurant.
That's experience right there. 20. Yeah. How many years have you owned these restaurants?
Since 2003. So yeah,
16 years of experience. All right, bro. So all right, explain to us. So like somebody wants to open a restaurant, they need to understand a lot of risks come with this.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of management risk, customer service risk, there's fire risk, there's people getting sick risk, like
absolutely.
health risk.
Yeah, you
has anybody ever gotten sick from your food?
So of course, I'm sure people have gotten sick. Like,
I mean that came back to you and you had to deal with it?
No one's ever come back directly to me. So a complaint will get filed with the health department. If more than X amount of people get sick, I don't know what the number is, but it has to be multiple people get sick, then there's an issue. The health department will come shut you down, do some swabbing, research you, all that stuff.
Damn.
We've never had that
CSI.
happen. Yeah. We've had like ones who, hey, I ate your food, I got really sick, I was nauseous last night. Yeah, that could happen. That happens at any restaurant you go to. So
do you also have a cold? Is what I would ask next. Were you being funny? I'm like, just sneeze real quick for me.
All right. So now, what about money? So like, is it lucrative to be in the restaurant business? So to give us that first restaurant. Wait, hold on. How many? So you own 7 restaurants. Are they all Mezza Mediterranean?
No. So 4 are Mediterranean and 3 are Mexican.
Where are they located?
They're all inside the loop.
In the loop of Chicago Loop. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so 4 Mexican, 3 are Mexican, habanero.
Yep.
4 are
Mezza.
Mediterranean, called Mezza grilled wraps and pita.
Mezza grill, yeah.
All right, Mezza grill. All right, and like, what are do you have an estimate of like total sales? Or give us the sales of a given restaurant.
Yeah, most of our restaurants, so we only open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday.
Right.
10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on average.
One meal
we serve.
Lunch.
That's it. And it's, we just bang it out the door from 11 to 1:30.
Right.
That's it. We're done.
Right. All right, and so what? Yeah, what is the sales of like that first restaurant? Like, were you excited to see the numbers? Were they
So the first restaurant
banging
was
right away?
the first. So this is what gave us all the ambition, right? And so the first restaurant, we were just floored at the kind of sales it did. We thought,
where was it located?
It's closed now, but it was 520 with Michigan Avenue. That's inside the Nordstrom's on Michigan Avenue.
Michigan,
that building.
okay.
There's a food court on the 4th floor.
Okay.
So they did phenomenal from day one, and we were really shocked at how well they did.
Did you quit right away from Anderson?
No.
Or Accenture?
No. Oh no. So we because it's one restaurant. You got to keep to leave your job, depending on how much money you're making, of course, but to leave your job and risk it, I would suggest you really have a nice stable history of good sales, good profits from a restaurant. If you're going to leave everything.
And you were able to run it from Accenture?
Yeah, I mean, basically I ran it after work all the time. I'd go there. At weekends I'd work there. So I was kind of burning the candle at both ends, especially the first couple restaurants.
I got you.
Yeah.
You guys have any questions for my bro?
So sales were, you asked me sales.
Yeah.
So sales on average for our restaurants are probably somewhere in the 600,000 to 700,000 a year number.
Per
Some
year.
restaurants are in the 800,000. Some are in the 6 to 7.
So do you think you had better luck because you were like located in the city? Do you think you would have the same
I mean,
type
so my mom, she's amazing. So she always says, in Arabic she says it, but I'll say it in English. She always says, open up your business where the feet are, where people's feet are, basically. So, the theory is that, the more people, the more feet you see running around your area, the better chances of success are. And it's so true.
Right.
So, yes.
Mom knows best.
Yeah.
You will pay a price for that. Right? It's a premium. You want to be on Michigan Avenue? You're going to pay $250 a square foot rent.
What does that mean? Like how much you pay rent there when you first started out?
So that's amazing. Great question. So when we first opened there 16 years ago, the rent was nothing. And when I say nothing, it was still expensive, but comparatively.
What, like $5,000 a month?
So it was like $6,000 a month.
$6,000 a month.
Yeah. When the rent number
By
finished
the way, this is a small spot. Like you're in a
700
mall,
square feet.
700 square feet, like a little bigger than this room.
Yeah.
The size of a conference room.
Oh yeah, it's like a
It's
a
small.
food court type of.
It is a food court.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that
So $6,000 for that.
So we were making money hand over fist because the rent was so low, sales were so strong. By the end of our lease, the 15th year of our lease, our rent was $16,000 a month.
Damn, why go up so high?
Wow.
That's just how the leases are structured.
Almost 300%.
And they were getting that number from everybody. Potbelly was paying in our food court, Sbarro's Pizza, whatever.
Damn.
Yeah. And by the way, we used to have, we got up to, I think, about 10 or 11 restaurants. We've recently shrunk.
All right. Is it super important to have really awesome food?
No.
According to McDonald's, no.
Yeah, so I think it's good. It's a good point.
I love me some
I think your
McDonald's.
point your point is really good. So the answer is no.
It's like Shake Shack. I want the experience more than I want the food.
Yeah, so I think that you just have to have good food. It's got to be different, maybe not. Just got to be really good.
You
Something,
can't give people diarrhea.
right? You got to be wholesome food.
According to McDonald's, no.
You can.
Or Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Taco Bell. Yeah.
Cantina.
So great marketing behind you. Great service.
Yeah. So you're saying food is important, but sorry, it's not the most important.
Correct.
Damn.
Yeah.
It is only part of the process.
Part of the formula.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a question. So, like, I've been on a bunch of like movie productions, and then when I watch a movie, it's like, oh, I know how they shot this, and like, it doesn't ruin it for me, but like, I can see through movies. So now, when you go to a restaurant, are you like, damn, I know how they made this, and I kind of don't like this food now?
No, I actually get excited about that when I figure things out. That's exciting. Like, oh. Now, if I actually get amazed by that. When I go into the kitchen and I see how they produce something, and it looks, before it actually gets presented onto a plate, it looks really average. But then the artists, if you will, the chefs or the sous chefs or the line cooks, whatever you want to call them, they are trained to take a short rib and really prep it in a certain way or do something with it in a certain way that will make it look so appetizing on a plate. And that always amazes me that they're able to do that.
Has it ruined restaurant? Like,
No.
can you eat out now like normal? Like,
Oh, yeah, I love eating out.
Well, it's an art to it. Like,
It's an art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100% it's an art.
It's like
So
just
I
like a
Kareem-
movie. You'll still go to the movies, right? And
Well, he's
watch a
saying the
movie.
magic of the movie's kind of gone for him because he kind of knows how it's all done behind the scenes.
Like if it's an amazing movie, then you like enjoy the experience. But sometimes it's like a decent movie, and you're like, yeah,
This is why it sucks.
Stop
Right.
pretending like this was hard. Like anyone could have done it. Like,
Damn.
Yeah, I in this business, I feel like you never stop learning.
Right.
Always something to learn, and you have to be open to learning.
Do you like owning your own business, or would you rather go back to the corporate?
No, I definitely love owning my own business.
Yeah.
I think what I love about it is the people.
So is that one of the? Would you say you spend the most time working with like the people, the managers of each restaurant?
Yes.
That's the majority of your time.
Yeah, I would say that working with them.
So not necessarily like menu, food.
No.
It's actually the majority of the time is not about food.
Actually, I let them kind of drive that stuff sometimes.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So I think
Yeah. So
that-
you moved away from food, which is probably one of the first reasons you jumped into it,
Yes.
and you moved towards. Oh man, I'm like a
Therapist.
therapist. For real?
No.
Say more.
It's a joke.
I mean, maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I mean,
do
there are
think like
times-
I
there are
used
times.
to go to my manager's office at JP Morgan and be like, "Yo, I'm having this problem. I need some help with it." You know?
No, there's definitely a lot of that. Yeah, for sure. But I think being there for everybody is awesome.
Yeah. So you've kind of built a team, literally a community and a team, and so they might see you as kind of like someone they can turn to or go to, who's responsible and is looking to help them with their job or maybe even their life.
Absolutely.
That's what restaurants, at least for my brother, are about.
That's exactly
Which is
what
cool.
it's
It's
about.
cool. That's about people.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that in the beginning because I was probably too young and dumb to understand it
Right.
and too selfish.
True.
As a
think
brother,
that-
I can tell you, not much has changed, bro.
Come on, man.
Well, it's all about
Come
people
on,
at the
man.
end of the day.
I got
No,
a
so-
question for you.
Yeah.
Everything
So
we do.
I know you mentioned you were at 11 and then you've shrunk down.
Yeah.
So like,
Failures.
fair enough. So I feel like in general you want to keep increasing. So like, when do you know like you need to shut down a restaurant or like, like I know
It's a
it
great
kinda sounds
question.
like
I'm laughing about it right now because I'm at the breaking point at one of my places. So we've got 6 strong ones and one that's just dragging ass, if you will, just killing us. And it's a long lease left on it. I've
many
always
years are left
honored.
on the
There's
lease?
8 years left on it. I've never
8 years.
Yeah,
so
I've
you
never-
may have to be stuck in a losing restaurant for 8 more years.
It could possibly, yeah, be. Well, or we negotiate out of it. So I've negotiated out of 1 of 3 of my previous failing restaurants. I negotiated out of it. We just paid a handsome, ransom to get out of
What'd you pay?
it. It was $70,000.
Dang.
Wow.
And it becomes a Starbucks after that.
Exactly. So you sometimes you do that. You say, here's a key money or whatever, just get me out of this thing. You can keep everything.
sets fire for some odd reason. You know what I mean?
someone pinches a cord behind it.
Oh. By the way, that restaurant was remodeled and is doing very well now. Yeah,
So 8 years left on a lease.
yeah, so this is where I have to come in now and reconcept it. Because we made a mistake.
What is it? Habanero or Mezza?
It's a habanero. So we made a mistake. So I guess initially it wasn't a mistake. A building's going up. You're like, all right, great. There's a new building going up. That's gonna be what?
Sorry.
No. Your hand keeps going in front
Oh,
of
I'm
the camera. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So a building's
Hands
going
are-
up. We look at the area like, oh, there's only 2 Mexican restaurants within, on the corner. It's fine. They can handle a third one. The Mexican restaurant that was actually previously in our spot was doing well, and it is not gonna stay in its spot. They didn't want to pay the rent that we wanted to pay. Like, oh, we'll pay that rent. Jumped in, opened up, didn't realize a Mexican restaurant was opening around the corner, and then the guy who actually left the Mexican restaurant location that we were at opened a block away.
Oh damn.
So 5 restaurants within a block.
Damn.
No good.
I
That's
didn't
a recipe
know.
for disaster.
Dang.
Yeah. A recipe for disaster. Yeah, especially when you're going up against
It's
2
also
chains.
a whole lot of
Yeah,
steak
that's where you
tacos.
gotta
2
make
chains. Yeah, you gotta watch out for him.
media internet ploy to get your restaurant cracking.
Make it go viral.
Joe's Barbecue Foot Massage.
Oh yeah, I
Barbecue
know that
foot-
place. Yeah.
Everybody knows that place, man. You gotta get on your media stuff so they can be like, oh, that's the barbecue massage place, and then they go in there and eat
Yeah.
your food.
Some sort of catchy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I am working on possibly a new concept there. We'll
Gotcha.
see what it becomes.
So when you signed the lease, did you say like, oh, this is a Mexican restaurant?
That's
or did you
correct,
say,
and
this
so-
is a restaurant.
Yeah, Mexican.
So you can't change it.
Technically, you can't, but if you go to them and say, hey, I'm going under, either you're going to take the space and we're going to file bankruptcy, which I've never done, or you're gonna try to work with us. And most buildings will work with you as long as you're not hurting one of their other tenants.
Is that why all these like in like hippy dippy neighborhoods, why there's like businesses that go up and then just come down and go up and come down because they don't
try
know
shit?
Yeah, they don't know what they doing.
And especially with restaurants, like I told you, everyone's standing around in the kitchen like, you make the best ribs, go open up a rib place. They don't know what they're doing. They're not business people. That's probably why.
And I got to be honest with you, when I opened my first restaurant, I really didn't know what the fuck I was doing either. I just knew I loved it. It was a passion, and I needed to figure out how the hell I can make extra money or have a backup job. And so even though my dad was in the business and he taught me a lot of the food side, the other side of it I really didn't know that well. And I kind of figured it out, and I got lucky. I had a horseshoe up my ass because the restaurant was doing so well. It had enough cash flow from day one to, pay the employees. I didn't have to withstand like a 1 year, pickup. You know what I mean? Like a time to build up the business.
Become profitable. Yeah, you were profitable right away.
I was profitable from day one. Yeah,
that's not usual in restaurants.
That's not usual.
All right, so what is like, some secrets or tricks that you have to make sure you make the businesses as successful as possible? Like, what's something you've figured out over the years, and you're like, man, that has totally saved me thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I got to figure it out in year 4.
Yeah. So this is actually from probably early on in the restaurant business. So my dad, God rest his soul, he was very, very adamant that you should buy your own produce. Meaning that go to the main source. Farm would be great, but that's too far for us here in Chicago. But the next best thing was where the farms brought all the product to, to sell it to the public. Not a farmer's market per se, but like a farmer's market on
steroids.
Every kind of steroid you could ever imagine, horse steroids. And so I do some of that too. Yeah, I still do that.
You know what's crazy?
The steroids or the market?
Yeah,
both.
The horse steroids.
My friend,
I'm on horse steroids.
My friend in college, right? I've never. He was like a prep cook, right? And he preached that too. He's like 23 years old at the time. We were in college.
He was preaching prep cooking?
He was preaching going to farmers markets, like, you got to get your own food because that's where it's at. Like,
that's right.
we were studying animation. I'm like, dude, talking about? Like, it has nothing to do with drawing right now. But that's what he was talking about. He probably rich fuck. Shout out Landon or Calvin or whatever you calling yourself these days.
So what's the name of this place that you go? Is it Farmers
Chicago
Market?
International Produce Market.
Chicago International Produce
CIPM,
Market.
yeah.
CIPM. You go there.
I go there or I call, but usually I go once a week, early in the morning.
Yep.
4:35 in the morning.
Yep.
And then just start, poking my head into all the coolers, checking out what they got, seeing where I can find the best.
And you're just
X,
like,
Y,
yo,
Z.
give me 20 boxes of tomatoes, give me 50 boxes of
I
romaine
buy
lettuce,
stuff,
give me like
Yep.
that?
Yep.
Well, damn. And if you didn't do that, what would it be?
So the savings is enormous. People say, what's the savings? $2. No, the savings is a lot more than $2.
You cut out a middleman?
I cut out the middleman.
So no one's picking it up and dropping it off in a big semi truck for you.
So a lot of times, I hired my own driver because we buy about a truckload of vegetables every week. Not a full truck, maybe 3/4 of a truckload. So it's actually cheaper to hire my own driver, pay him on a quote unquote per box basis, and he just drops everything off to all the restaurants.
Gotcha. So
spends one day a week.
Uber Eats delivering food, it's Uber Eats delivering produce.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So by going to the market, I walk into a cooler, I see a lot of romaine that I like. I jump to the romaine seller there. I say, hey, I want 35 cases, 40 cases of romaine. What can you do? He's like, I got lot this, whatever the case is. And then he gives me, his pricing range based on the time that product came in. So sometimes the product was in on a Friday, and now it's a Tuesday. He needs to unload that product. Well, guess what? That product suddenly is half price.
That's what's up.
But then the product, but if I'm in there at 4:30 in the morning on a Tuesday, and the product just came in on Tuesday, well, that lot is basically the highest price lot. And they only have so much cooler space, so they've got to continuously move product. So my dad taught me that go find the lot that came in on Friday. It's still so dang fresh. It is.
Right.
The lot that came in on Tuesdays on Friday is going to be half the price. I mean, listen, a lot of times they're turning over the stuff anyway, so there's not like there's a lot of that stuff laying around, but
that's
it's still number one top product, and so you're able to get half the price. Like it's an $18 market right now for romaine. you can probably pay $8 to $10 for the same romaine.
You should stop saying romaine though, just because romaine's not the letters of topic, right? You got to say leafy green or something like that. Romaine is not
because
hitting.
of the whole
the
E.
alcohol.
coli.
Yeah.
E. coli.
Yeah, you're right. Cool. Any final questions from my bro before we move on?
I got one final question.
for it.
In general,
Yeah.
how much more does a restaurant, like when you your food, how much do you like mark up the price from how much it costs?
So it depends, right? Because you factor in rent, you factor in labor, you try to factor all these things in, but there's a general kind of industry standard, if you will, for fast casual, and you try to mark it up so that your food cost averages out at about 25%.
Okay.
Some stuff will be 20%.
So if a sandwich is you sell it for $10, what does it cost you?
$2.50.
Oh, so if a sandwich costs you $2.50, you're selling it for $10.
Gotcha.
When in your early days, like that first restaurant you guys did, and you were just making money that first year, how much money did you guys make? You have was it just you, or were you with a partner?
I had a partner, yeah. We probably made that year, that first year from September through July of 2004, man, I'd probably say we made $120,000.
Oh, really? You guys split that?
Of profit?
Yeah. First year.
Hot
So we were
damn.
like, wow, this little 700 square foot spot is turning out. And then it only got better. That restaurant from 2003 to 2008, like literally doubled in profits.
Do y'all still work together?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it really did well. But then the market crashed in 2008.
Damn.
And all hell broke loose. When it crashed, luxury items such as Nordstrom's, everything tanked. So we were really hurting for a while. So 2008 and 2009 were really tough years. But I doubled down. I think we've had this conversation on this podcast once. So when the economy got really bad, I doubled down and I jumped into the market even deeper. I said, you know what? Everyone's trying to jump out. Let's jump in. So
You opened up another restaurant.
we opened up more and more. So in between 2008 and 2010, I think we opened up like 4 or 5 restaurants.
Was rent
Smart.
cheaper to open up? For the
Rent
restaurant?
also was pretty good, yeah, because everyone's like, oh, retail's
Everyone's
failing.
closing down.
Right.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And by the
gave
way,
up.
another sign for the economy slowing down. Retail's slowing down. Rentals are slowing down. Rent rates are starting to come down.
Are they right now?
Yeah, they're starting to come down. You're hearing
Cool.
people say, "We'll work with you. We'll work with you."
Damn. All right, that's my bro. Thanks for schooling us on restaurants and
Anytime.
making money in restaurants.
Anytime.
How we doing on time, Yahya?
6:15.
6:15. All right, let's wrap up in 10 minutes. Let's finish up talking about Uber going public. All right. Now, Uber is the ride-sharing service, right? They also
Right.
have Uber Eats, which makes them a whole bunch of money. They also have like Uber Freight, which you can like Uber a semi-truck if you need one for some reason.
They got Uber bikes.
Uber bikes and scooters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
Uber
do all
roller
sorts.
skates and all that type
Oh,
of
Uber
stuff.
roller skates for real? I haven't used those yet.
Yeah, it's popular in the Boys Town area.
Oh, I was gonna say maybe Santa Monica.
Yeah, San Francisco.
Is that just a gay joke on roller skates?
No, what? No, it's you had never heard of Uber roller skates? No, all right, never mind.
So now here's the thing with Uber, right? So Lyft, the ride-sharing service with Lyft, they went public about 2 weeks ago, and they were worth about $20 billion. It even pushed upwards to $25 billion. They have since taken it on the chin, which, by the way, I was saying when we were on this podcast a couple weeks ago, like, yo, I don't trust this shit. It feels way too frothy, way too juiced up. And lo and behold, I was right, which scares the shit out of me because what the hell do I know? Like, I can't believe I even got that
Wait,
shit right.
what happened again? What happened to Uber?
Lyft. I'm talking about Lyft.
Oh, okay, talk
They
about
went
it.
public. They had an IPO,
Okay,
right? Where, you know what that is?
no.
It's basically where a company will go public. They will ask the public for money, and in exchange, they will share with them the profits and publicize all of their earnings and numbers and everything
Oh,
like that.
okay. That's what every other company's not doing right now.
Most companies are private.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like my brother's company's private. Lyft was private,
Right,
and all the shareholders decided to go public.
right,
So if my brother and all his shareholders were like, yo, let's go public, they'd all go public.
right.
So Uber's now going, and Uber's much bigger than Lyft. And so Lyft didn't have a really good IPO launch. And Uber now, they thought they were going to be worth $120 billion, but they're going to go public at $100 billion, most likely, because they're worried that when they go public and they issue shares, what's going to happen is the stock price is going to go down after. So they're worried about that. So they're trying to basically err on the side of, underpricing it instead of overpricing it, if that makes sense.
What is Uber doing with their money? What is all these people doing with their money?
Oh man, a lot of people about to become billionaires. At least millionaires for sure.
Yeah. Who runs Uber? Who owns Uber?
There's a bunch of shareholders that own it. So it's a bunch of like venture capital firms. One of the biggest ones is called Benchmark.
I've heard of this
Saudi
before.
Arabia, they
Yeah.
own a bunch of Uber. There's a couple other Silicon Valley VCs. And then Travis Kalanick, their first CEO, who was under all sorts of like microscope. He was under a microscope because there were sexual harassment issues. He was a huge Trump supporter, and he did some really shady stuff around the economic council he sat on for Trump. So he'll get super rich. He might even become a billionaire because he's a co-founder. He probably owns a lot of shares. So these guys, they build these companies, but they don't really see the money because most of these tech companies are losing money.
I was about to bring this up. I think what they doing is they like getting their money while they can, because all these Ubers, Lyfts, and all these guys, everybody's starting to do that now. So they're gonna try to take the money and run type of deal.
Yep. So Uber doesn't actually make anything. They don't hire people. They're all independent contractors who drive cars, their own cars. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and they don't make very much money, these drivers, unfortunately. It's really the management who makes all these billions. So Uber is this company that just kind of puts a bunch of shit together, and they make billions and billions of dollars. Now, Uber loses something like, I think it's like $3 billion a year, if I'm not mistaken. I have to check that number. But they lose billions per year.
Off of?
Well, their basically expenses are higher than all the money they're bringing in from ride sharing.
Yikes.
They probably do a lot of marketing. They pay a whole lot of people. Well, I guess
they rent out cars for people to drive.
They probably do a lot of that stuff too.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So,
but the outlook's got to be good, right? I mean, so people are lending them money to keep them afloat.
I mean, I think what the idea is they've got so many, right? How we transport ourselves has completely changed in the last 3-4 years.
That's correct.
It's completely
I thought about
transformed.
that yesterday, actually.
Right? We just completely have changed the way taxis are becoming obsolete in many ways. So I think investors are like, oh man, let's get on this train right now. Uber's number one, Lyft is number two. However, it's like kind of like McDonald's, Burger King. There's about to become a whole bunch of competitors that jump in.
Right.
So it's not clear how much Uber's going to really own the market.
Right.
Uber just bought for $3 billion a ride-sharing service in the Middle East called Kareem.
Yes. They bought basically your name.
Pretty much, except it's spelled with a C, not a K. Because it's like Kareem, yeah. The only issue with that is a lot of people were worried because Kareem has a lot less privacy standards than Uber does. And now they're scared that like these governments in these Middle Eastern countries are going to be able to see all of Uber's data because it was all shared with Kareem from before. So there's a huge issue.
There's a privacy issue. You're
there's a
saying
privacy
that,
issue with
like
that.
the Egyptian government can see all of Uber's information.
Yeah, so people are scared about that. But looking like beside that, another point that I was going to make is that a lot of people are giving to Uber money because the second self-driving cars are publicly available, they don't have to pay drivers anymore.
Right.
I would never get in that car. I'd be like, yeah, it's got an Uber.
You're going to eat your words.
Toyota. Who the fuck is this? Just pull up and it's nothing. I'd be like, I think it's a ghost. I'm like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing that shit.
I mean, it's happening, bro.
Isn't it part of the Uber experience, like getting into a car with a guy with a heavy accent and just like having a conversation with the guy?
Right. You can't even roll the window up.
So
like putting your aux
would be
cord.
a Uber driver.
So the car's going to talk to you now with just a really heavy accent. You get to pick the accent.
Oh,
and
man, that's like
everything.
Knight Rider.
Oh, okay.
You ever see
low
that?
key, yeah.
So they're going public. Now, here's the big news, right? And this is where I get into how powerful companies are in America, right? In America, the corporation has rights of free speech. It has all rights that a human being has, right? And that's kind of crazy because that allows a corporation who's got a lot of money to be way more powerful than any individual, right? Because the company's going to have a lot more money. Uber has figured out, and so has Lyft, and a lot of tech companies are doing this now. Normally, when you buy one share of a company, like if you bought a share of McDonald's, that gives you one vote when you go to the shareholder meeting to vote on who's going to be the CEO or any other referendum to kind of make the company democratic. There's one vote for one share. Somehow, these tech companies are now doing a different class of shares where the shares that the founders own or the management owns, they have a 20-to-1 comparison, like a 20-to-1 voting power. So each share that the manager owns, he has 20 votes. Each share that I own from Uber, I only have 1 vote. Basically, all big decisions that require votes, shareholders do not have any say in that. Only the management can basically do. And basically, it's becoming a major dictatorship. That's what it's becoming.
Yeah, well, why would you? I wouldn't want shares in that anyway. I would just make my own version of Uber and just have them buy it for however much money, and then
as a competitor,
you're right, and then just keep doing that over and over. Oh, I got an Uber for caterpillars. Like, Uber, what you trying to do? Then they be like, all right, we got to buy that too now, because obviously butterflies became sentient and started thinking.
Yeah. So I mean, like, you know, I do not recommend buying Uber. I don't recommend buying Lyft. This whole thing of you don't get 1-to-1 voting rights and how the technology companies are able to take advantage of this, it's happening. It's coming. These corporations are getting more power. I don't like it, but from an investor perspective, it goes to show you again, like, everyone should be investing in the stock market or in these companies, especially in America, because American companies have so much power. They have so much ability to make money. That's why it's one of the reasons the stock market keeps going up. You know, so I always talk about putting 20% of whatever you make from your paycheck, directly divert it straight to the stock market. Just buy a basket of stocks, or buy the S&P 500.
You know, I keep hearing you say America and the companies are so powerful. You know, I've always heard a saying, all empires at some point are conquered, or they fail,
Right.
or they come crashing
The
down.
Roman, the Persian.
Yep. Exactly. The Ottoman. Do you think we're in such a different time now that to bring down a country like America is almost impossible?
Damn. That's a big question.
That is a big question. That's a good question,
That's
too.
a great question.
I mean, we're running out of time,
What's the question?
so we're just going to do yes or no
Question.
answers.
Yeah.
No.
No. I mean,
I thought we were doing yes or no answers.
That's the ultimate question. Like, is
No.
God the only power that could bring this country down?
no. I don't think it's super difficult for any country, not just the United States or any power. I don't think it's that difficult.
I think we kind of screwed ourselves. Like, we protected ourselves one way and screwed ourselves in another way. Like, physically, no other country can take down America. But
Militarily, you mean?
Yeah, like, no one can come into America and be like, this is mine. Like, that's never going to happen.
What?
But
well, they wouldn't come in. They would
Right.
just shoot a lot of nukes.
you
You
know.
know?
But
I mean, North Korea,
Honestly,
whatever.
it'd be more of a
Right.
cyber attack.
yeah,
not a
so,
physical.
but if someone creates a
financial
bug
attack.
Yeah.
strong enough and our, like, failing electrical grid system, if you shut down one city, the whole country would fall apart.
Big city, New York, whatever.
Yeah. Like, if Chicago lost power for 10 minutes, America would cease to be what we know of it, and it would completely change radically for the next
New York
forever.
did lose a big chunk of power about 10 years ago. They were off.
I
the
remember
grid,
that.
Yeah, for some hours. I mean, it does have an impact. If it's a day, I don't think it has a big impact, in my opinion.
I feel like now it'd be way worse.
Way worse? Maybe.
Because, like,
So we're, the internet.
10 years ago, the internet was like, yeah, I have internet in my kitchen, like, on the big
Right.
computer. Now it's like,
It's everywhere. It's in your pocket.
imagine you didn't have your phone.
For 10 minutes, I probably wouldn't even notice.
10 minutes, yeah. I think okay.
Yeah, but the people that control stuff would. So, like, imagine you're getting emails about a plane that's supposed to land, or, like...
I think your bigger point is, like, how important things like electricity being connected are compared to military.
Something
and how
just
fragile.
recently happened. Facebook. That's what.
Yeah, Facebook and Instagram.
Right.
It's went
Those.
down.
Yeah.
That's right.
People
And
were freaking
Instagram
out
went
at
down,
that.
yeah.
For a little bit though, but then
And it
people
didn't
just
even
went outside.
completely go down.
Oh, it didn't? I thought it was down completely.
Like, half of their servers went out,
Right.
and the other half were fine.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And then
So-
people just went on Twitter and YouTube. I don't know. I was just saying, people would be like,
Moved
"Oh
on.
damn, right."
Moving on. Moving on.
But, like, imagine all of that stopped
Right.
for,
Right.
like, a day.
If everything, yeah, that'd be a big question mark. Yeah, I mean, it would affect us for a day, but the country wouldn't. The country would not crumble from that. I think our biggest risk is like
Debt?
you know, what?
Debt.
But I think we would like eat ourselves. You know how like a larva like
Yeah,
can
eats itself.
eat itself from the from the inside. I don't know. You know, like we'd be kind of like eating ourselves from the inside. That's I think
Slow
our biggest
death.
risk.
Yeah.
Like a slow death, kind of like that. So I think some mistakes can lead to that potentially.
I mean, everybody's trying to attack us one way or another, but
Yeah, we're on top.
let's see who does it first, bitch.
And as Americans, we will win.
That's
and
what
take
we're
ourselves
supposed
down
to
first.
say.
On that note, that was our show. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Noshad, for being here.
Yeah.
Motaz, I love you, brother. Thank you
Love
very
you
much
too,
for
bro.
teaching us. My millennial gangsters. Peace.
Peace.
Investment policies.
Peace.